Hook, the silent vibration. Imagine standing in a dense, primeval forest. The air is still, yet you feel an inexplicable sense of dread. It's not a sound you hear with your ears, but a deep, rhythmic thrumming that vibrates your ribcage and makes the water in a nearby puddle ripple in perfect concentric circles. You look around, expecting a thunderous roar, but there is only a heavy, crushing silence. Suddenly, the trees part, and the massive head of a Tyrannosaurus Rex emerges. It doesn't open its mouth to scream. Instead, a low-frequency hum emanates from its throat, a sound so deep it bypasses your hearing and speaks directly to your nervous system, triggering an ancient primal instinct to flee. This is the reality of the apex predator, not a theatrical roar, but a subsonic weapon. Introduction. The Hollywood fabrication. For over 30 years, the cinematic image of the T-Rex has been inseparable from its iconic roar. In the 1993 masterpiece Jurassic Park, sound designer Gary Rydstrom created a masterpiece of acoustic manipulation. To give the king of dinosaurs its voice, he famously blended the sounds of a baby elephant's trumpet, the growl of a tiger, and the gurgle of an alligator. It was a brilliant piece of art designed to evoke power, majesty, and terror. However, as our understanding of avian and reptilian biology has evolved, paleontologists have begun to realize that this legendary roar is almost certainly a scientific impossibility. The lie of the T-Rex roar was necessary for cinema because humans are mammals. We are programmed to associate loud, mid to high frequency vocalizations with aggression and danger. But the T-Rex wasn't the mammal. To find its true voice, we have to look at its closest living relatives, crocodiles and birds. What we find there is something far more disturbing than any Hollywood scream. The science of sound, from syrinx to infrasound. Modern birds produce sound using a specialized organ called a syrinx, while crocodiles use a larynx but lack vocal cords like humans. Most importantly, large reptiles today often engage in closed-mouth vocalization. When an alligator roars, it doesn't necessarily open its mouth wide like a lion. Instead, it inflates its throat and produces a deep, vibrating boom that can be felt through the water and the ground for miles. For a creature as massive as a T-Rex, the physics of sound suggest it likely specialized in infrasound. These are sounds below the threshold of human hearing, typically lower than 20 hertz. While we might not hear a 10 hertz note, our bodies react to it. Research has shown that exposure to infrasound can induce feelings of anxiety, extreme sorrow, and even physical nausea in humans. It is the ghost frequency, the sound that makes you feel like you are being watched in the dark. Climax, the tactical advantage of the subsonic boom. The climax of this analytical analysis reveals a terrifying biological advantage. Why would a predator want to roar? A roar warns everyone in the area of your presence. It's a territorial signal, but it's terrible for hunting. Infrasound, however, is the ultimate stealth tool. Low-frequency sounds travel much further than high-frequency sounds and are not easily blocked by dense vegetation or terrain. A T-Rex could communicate with a mate miles away without ever making a sound that its prey could detect with conventional hearing. Even more terrifying is the paralysis effect. Many modern predators, including tigers, are thought to use low-frequency roars to momentarily freeze the nervous systems of their prey. Imagine a T-Rex stalking a herd of Edmontosaurus. It doesn't need to scream. It emits a concentrated burst of infrasound. The prey animals don't hear a predator, but they suddenly feel dizzy, disoriented, and gripped by a paralyzing fear. By the time their brain processes the physical sensation of the vibration, the predator is already upon them. The ground doesn't shake because the T-Rex is heavy. The ground shakes because the T-Rex is singing a song of subsonic death. The moral of the auditory horror. Hollywood lied to us because the truth is too difficult to film. How do you convey terror to an audience if the monster doesn't make a sound they can hear? Sound designers chose the lion's roar because it is a universal symbol of power. They traded biological accuracy for emotional resonance. But in doing so, they missed the most horrifying aspect of prehistoric life. The real horror isn't the loud noise, it's the silence that vibrates. It's the realization that the most dangerous creature to ever walk the earth could be standing right behind a wall of trees, and the only warning you would have is your own heart beating out of sync as it tries to match the rhythm of a 10-ton animal's throat. Conclusion: rewriting the prehistoric soundscape. As we move forward into a new era of digital media and virtual reality, we have the opportunity to move past the Hollywood myth. Future depictions of dinosaurs could utilize haptic technology, subwoofers that make the seats in a theater rumble not during an explosion, but during the moments of silence when a predator is near. Understanding the T-Rex through the lens of infrasound changes our perspective of the Cenozoic world. It was not a world of constant, noisy screaming, but a world of deep, pulsing vibrations. The lie of the roar served us well for a century of cinema, but the truth invites us into a much more intimate and visceral form of fear. The T-Rex didn't need to scream to prove it was king. It let the earth do the talking.